What's up, everybody? Extramillion here once again with yet another episode of Totally Sick Bioshock 2 Edition. This time we're running through level 7, Fontaine Futuristics. This level is very long, as you can tell by the runtime, so please bear with me. Unfortunately, it's made longer because there are a ton of speeches in this, and you can't skip them like you could in the first game. The ruler of this level is a guy who calls himself Alex the Great, in reference to the Alexander the Great. His real name is Gil Alexander, as you can see there. He was the originator of the techniques that Sophia Lamb is going to use on Eleanor to turn her into a utopian. And in order to see if they worked, they tried them on him. So now he's been spliced up and pumped full of atoms, so he's basically this like weird mutant worm thing that lives in the basement. And he constantly harasses you with this security bot that's got like a little TV on it. As you can see there, it was searing "You're fired" into the wall with a little electrical bolt there. For whatever reason, this level would get massive slowdown when I was trying to play it whenever Alex the Great or his bot would actually show up. So it was kind of difficult to record this. Luckily, I got this all in pretty much one take. This level also marks the debut of the last new enemy that we'll see, called the Alpha Series, which is a bunch of enemies that are exactly like Delta. They look pretty much the same as you. They have pretty much all the same enemies. They're essentially more powerful versions of like Leadhead Splicers. Before we can continue, we have to fight some guys in this atrium. But one interesting thing to note about the Alpha Series is that they can either have the machine gun, the shotgun, or the grenade launcher, and all of their weapons will have the same upgrades that yours do. So if your shotgun has the damage upgrade, then theirs will also have the damage upgrade. So obviously they'll be weaker for me since I haven't been, upgrading anything except the drill. So that's kind of nice. They also have the Elemental Storm Plasmid, or not Plasmid, Tonic on, which you can get from researching them. It causes them to emit random bursts of either one of the three elements, fire, ice, and lightning. As you can see here, these Houdini splicers love to waste my time, or to appear in an area that I can't easily get to, like I think she next appears, on that Daily Planet looking globe. Alright, so she's finally dead.
Alex the Great? Oh hell, that has to be Gil Alexander.
Basically, the gist of this level is, first, in order to get anywhere, you have to disable Gil's control over the security system, which means you need to take out that little security bot that he has flying around. You need to do that by going to these bot shutdown stations that have been specially designed with these little transmitters, and then you just need to break all four of them. And that'll allow you to get access to the second part of the level. This level also marks the appearance of an Easter egg, sort of, for Bioshock 1 and 2 called the Teleportation Plasmid. It was a real plasmid that was actually cut from the game, along with several others, like one that would heal you with this Ghostbuster-like purple beam. There was another one that would enable you to move like superhumanly quick. There was one that enabled you to throw up like a World of Warcraft-style paladin shield. But the Teleportation Plasmid was cut out, obviously, because since this game is heavily scripted, it would have broken pretty much everything the game had. There's an ad for it in the first game, right near the first Gatherer's Garden. In this game, you basically just touch it a whole bunch of times, and it teleports around the level, and then when you follow it, you get a ton of it. So here's the Alpha Series. As you can see, he looks pretty much exactly like you. They've got melee attacks, they've got, and then all of their different weapons that they have. The ones that are the easiest to fight are the grenade launcher ones. Since I don't have the upgrade that renders me invincible to my own grenades, they will not usually try to fire at you if you're close to them, which is great, because they basically just stand there like he did. This level, despite being very long, is one of my favorites, especially since Gil's security system has this sort of like max headroom style speech impediment whenever it talks. Like you'll walk up to a door and it'll be like, access granted. So this is a pretty hilarious level to go through. Also, in this level, there are a ton of these safes that I'll be hacking, because every time you land on a blue area in a safe, you automatically get $25, regardless of whether or not that safe actually had any money in it. So, in order to prepare for the end of the game, when I'll be buying tons of first aid kits and drill fuel, I need to get as much money as I can. So what I just picked up was a little thing that Gil had that gives you the voice recognition password for his security systems.
Welcome, Gil Alexander.
I heard that. My likeness is company property, Delta, just like you are. Don't make me strip you.
So this security office is where we're trying to get into, but he sends his little bot out and zaps the thing, which means that we can't get through. So we have to go to 4 different areas and find the little shutdown machines to take care of that annoying bot. Unfortunately, you can't destroy it.
Access denied. Please speak clearly. Automatic deactivation for 60 seconds.
So once those shutters open, we'll wander into the main atrium level and walk up to the Gatherer's Garden machine, grab another health upgrade, and pretty much all the rest of the tonic slots. So that we'll finally have all 18 of them. As you can imagine, the Alpha series is just introduced in this level, so since this is the 7th out of 9 levels, they want you to research them pretty quickly, so they throw a lot of them at you, sometimes 2 at a time. So we'll buy all these gene tonic slots. And then we'll go down and buy Easy Hack, which makes the success zones for hacking larger, which enables me basically to just hack quicker since I don't have to worry about hitting like little precision spots. And then Hacker's Delight 2 makes you gain a bunch of health and Eve every time you successfully hack stuff, as you'll see in a second. As you can see, the green and blue areas are much larger than they normally are. Of course, what would a run through the level be without buying yet more drill fuel? So we'll go up here to the 2nd floor, go through this crack in the wall, and go drop down into a little medical area that will give us the 2nd version of drill power. And we'll equip that along with drill power 1 so that we'll have a super powerful drill. And replace extended reel, since we don't really have too much more research to do. Pretty much just researching Alpha series Big Daddies so that we can gain damage bonuses against them. So we'll kill all these chumps and then get out of here. So as you can see, that's the first bot shutdown machine. So turn off the signal relay, then we'll go upstairs. After you destroy the first one, Gil talks to you, and then he sends 3 security bots after you, so I just hang out by the next room where the next one is, and activate the bot shutdown machine as soon as I'm able to. That female splicer just killed that male one.
Criminals, Delta. You'll be laughed out of the boardroom, out of the city.
Shut the hell up. Alright, so we'll loot all these guys' corpses. The next signal relay is in the room that's behind me. there's the unstable teleportation plasmid. Basically, you have to select it a few times, then it teleports to different places in the level, and then you just go and find it. And there's another safe that I'll hack. The signal relay in the room behind me, the room is electrified, like the whole floor is electrified on these timed shocks. So what you're supposed to do is sort of just either wait for the shocks to finish and time your jumps in between them, or just run across the water as fast as you can. But since I have both Fountain of Youth and Electric Flesh, I am not damaged by the electricity in any way, so I can just run in and then just leave. Once you go back out here, Gil has put up a rocket turret, which we will get shot in the face with, and then reflect its thing back at it. Now we're going into the office of Frank Fontaine. There's kind of a weird thing here. If you look on the right wall, when I go over to shut off the signal relay, you can see a picture that has Frank and what I'm presuming is his wife and his kid, which he never talks about in the first game. I'm not sure they ever mention it in this game either. His office, of course, has a ton of alcohol and these 3 safes. This one I failed to hack the first time. And I failed to hack it again. But luckily it's got 2 first aid kits in it, so it doesn't really matter. But as you can see, every time I hack one, regardless of whether or not it has money in it, if I get the blue one, I get 25 bucks. So that's pretty nice. So we'll go back downstairs, grab the teleportation plasmid one more time. Now it looks like I clicked it here, but for some reason I didn't. Which is why I wander over here and then stare at the couch where it's supposed to appear for a second, then wander back. It basically makes me like walk right up to it and get close enough to give it a big smooch. Like, I'm not sure why the remote heck dart pickup keeps showing up. There we go, finally. So once you touch it this last time, you're teleported to random spots around the level, and then you get teleported to the secret room where you can pick up the second level of Vending Expert. That guy's like, what the hell?
What are you?
Oh, and then you also get that code, in case you couldn't see it from far away. Shit! So there it is, Vending Expert 2. So at this point, I have pretty much every vending machine discount that tonic that you can possibly have. So now when I go to vending machines, instead of drill fuel being, I believe it's $33, it's now something like $18, something ridiculously low. So we'll go in here through this last area. This is the Plasmid testing facility. Basically, this functioned like those old 50s style showrooms where people could come and sit in the audience, and then Delta and other big daddies would come and they would show off their Plasmid abilities. Basically to get prospective buyers interested. I mean, would you buy the ability to shoot lightning out of your hands if you didn't think that it would work?
Indebted to you, my boy. We ironed kink after kink out of our domestic plasmid line on you right here. Well, let's see if you're staying competitive. Step on up and take the spotlight. Ladies and gentlemen, Fontaine Futuristics invites you to shed your skepticism, evolve your expectations, and dissolve your doubt as we unveil the revolutionary power of our home defense Plasmid series. May I have a volunteer from the audience? Come now.
So Gil is basically just talking, then finally you get into a little sequence where you fight a bunch of Houdini splicers, and then an alpha series.
Yuma, at the back. Oh, come on down. Let's give it a hand, folks. Only a single volunteer. Oh, come now, gentlemen. She'll be
So kill her, then I think like 3 or 4 more of them teleport in the room. So those guys are all dead. Grab that first aid kit, and then a Alpha Series runs in, and then we just kill him.
Oh dear, Subject Delta. It looks like you've upstaged a fellow demonstrator, and he's here to steal the show.
This is really the only thing that makes this level take a lot longer than it should, is these incredibly long-winded speeches from Gil. I mean, if you could skip any of this, this level would be like, you could cut probably like a good 5 or 10 minutes off of it. Now, despite researching them to their second level, giving you the increased ammo capacity right there, your drill still only holds 300 drill units.
The Fontaine family retirement plan suits you to a T, my boy.
Alright, so we're finally done. We can go into the security office and get to the second part of this incredibly huge level.
Hello again. I must assume by now that you're willing to help end my life. In exchange, I have prepared
So
a
Gil
friendly
thanks us
security
by
escort
giving
for
us
you.
the elite security bot, so
Now,
we promptly turn it
there's
off
a
because
switch
we don't need his
here
help.
which will allow you access to the real laboratories where what's left of me awaits you. Please, use it.
So now we have to head down to the Plasmid laboratory, so we have to go outside and go on a walkabout. Doesn't really matter what these chumps do, there's drill fuel right here, and once I walk outside I'll get all my health back anyway, so I don't even bother to fight the rest of the guys that were in there. And up ahead is where you'll actually come face to face with Gil himself. Just like Grace Holloway and Stanley Poole, Gil is the last of the characters in this game, the NPCs, that you can either save or choose to murder.
As I recall from my time doing business
In
with
this
the owners,
area, Gil
that
explains
oxyfill
that
station out there is just a
he
front
wants
for a
you
kinda
to
hidden
get his
passage
genetic
leading
code
down
so that you
below.
can access
If Lamb's hiding
Persephone, which is the
Eleanor
next
from you,
level. It's a
that's where
prison
she'll
that's
be.
hidden below this area. But in order to get his code, you have to gather a whole bunch of these atom flowers. So you go in here,
I'm
all the
afraid
lights are off, so you have
lights
to
in
turn on
here
the circuit
sting
breakers.
my eyes terribly now. Until you arrive to deal with me, they will remain off. Please, locate the breakers and flip them, and then return here to restore power.
Those little red globules that you can see there, those, if you pick those up with telekinesis and throw them at a splicer, they have the exact same effect as if you had Hypnotize, level 1. It basically functions like Enrage.
Sophia and I knew that to create the first true utopian would come at a high cost, my friend. We needed
So while
someone
he's
to be
talking, we'll go
host
over
to
and
all
hack this
that
vending
Adam,
machine.
Rapture's finest minds. A willing subject, that is to say, myself.
So there he is. He looks like a big slug. He's inside that huge container that kind of looks like a big, one of those plasmid jars, which I guess is appropriate since he's infused with a ton of Atom. This area that you're in now is nicknamed the Abyss. It's supposed to be like the source of all the Atom. It's like way below where Rapture is.
And it's all I seem to want now. I have left a sample here, so you know what to look for.
I see you out there, Delta. You want to be top man? You want to sit in the big chair? Well, come and take it.
So now we've got our mission. We have to find 3 more of those plants. Man, don't you just love fetch quests? So kill those 2 chumps, then wander into this room.
Well, listen, son,
And this is
those
where the second flower
override keys
is.
you've been hunting are genetically encoded. And to get to Eleanor, you're gonna need one from
I'm not really sure why those
Right
guys were
there.
hitting that
First things first,
enraged
we gotta
stuff in
pin
the
him
first
down,
place.
Find those plants he mentioned, and lure him back out.
As soon as you pick this up, the door locks and some gas comes into the room, and then you're forced to fight more enemies.
We can't have you running around the laboratories in your condition.
Oh yeah, that's another thing that the Alpha series can do. They grab you and they can headbutt you. Gonna kill these lead head splicers real quick. So we've got our second plant, everybody's dead, and now we can finally leave.
Poor
Just
things.
ignore the camera behind
What a
us.
life. Marching around playing daddy until some splicer manages to kill off their sister. And then if the coma doesn't take them, they turn maniac. Nothing left to do but scream.
That rumbler that's
No
right there,
offense
I
intended,
believe
son.
that's
We better
the
get you to
rumbler
Eleanor
that's
on the
designated
double.
as Mark Meltzer, who's a special Big Daddy in this game. He was a character from the alternate reality game There's Something in the Sea. His daughter was kidnapped by Sophia Lamb as one of the girls that she was turning into little sisters by pulling them away from the surface. And through his research, he eventually figured out where Rapture was and went down there. And then Sophia Lamb turned him into a rumbler instead of killing him so that he could stay with his daughter. It's one of these. I don't remember if it's that one or not, but I know I'm pretty sure it's him. He's in this level somewhere. More splicers doing more combat rolls.
is where they bound us together.
This little area you just walked into, as you can see by the little cutscene, is where they actually turned you into a Big Daddy.
She was not meant to have a father, Delta. She was to be an heir to my life's work. And
Nope,
this
went the wrong way for a
is where
second.
they changed
Gotta drop down
her,
this hole, then go into this
bonding
area, and
her
then you
to
can finally get
you.
the
The child she was died in this
fourth plant. Oh, not that door. Behind door number 2, of course. Alright, so now we're finally done.
All right,
We can
sport,
go
time to
back and
feed
use
the
the
fish.
plants.
Head on back to Alexander's tank and put those plants in.
Poor Gilbert. It was his will to die, Delta. To serve the majority by protecting them from his lunacy. Your entire journey here is based on your refusal to do the same. Will you grant his request, knowing that he served the family?
Rebirth, huh? Sure, you live forever, but minus your body. I like my body, kid.
Alright,
I
so
don't
now we're back in
feature
the main
idea
area,
of my
and then
memories
we put all
and
the plants
personality being
in the
stored
machine to
the head
lure
of
Gil
some
out so we can
saintly
take a sample of his
child,
genetic
like just one more dusty old
signature.
book
But
in the
wouldn't you know it,
library.
as soon as we put it in, a bunch of dudes come out and we have to fight them. Surprise, oh, the century, I know. It's not like we haven't seen that same thing a million times throughout the game already.
Notice to all employees. Subject Delta is hereby dismissed. Escort him from the premises.
I don't want it. I shall resist.
Kill the rest of these chumps. At least fighting these Alpha Series guys, they drop, they usually have like 20 bucks on them, so at least you can make your money back with the tool field that you use. Nice to see you.
How dare you try to buy me out with this bribe, this penance, this sublime... God damn you, Delta!
Alright, so now Gil's little control pod is filling with
You reel him in.
the atom, which
Use
lures
that
him in there.
console
Then
there to
we
take
stick
a
him with a
gene
needle,
sample.
take his
It
genetic
should print
key,
up a genetic
and then
key
you can
automatically.
either choose to just leave and leave him down here to rot, or you can choose to electrify the tank and kill him. Strangely, electrifying the tank is the evil option in this game, which you would think would be the opposit, since not only does Gil tell you to kill him, because that's what he wants, since he's clinically insane, but wouldn't it be kind of cool to just sort of like trap somebody down here when they're all disgusting and mutated?
It is done. The sample disposal button on the panel in front of you would administer a massive jolt of electricity to the tank. More than enough to kill me. Whatever I may say to dissuade you, do not listen. The man whose voice you hear now is long
Yeah, blah 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 blah
As my
blah. I'll
mind
just
fades,
electrocute you.
I find my thoughts turn to the suffering that Eleanor will be made to endure, and I am overcome with pity. But I can only offer my feeble prayers. Perhaps after my death, you can do more. Now,
Man, shut
please,
the hell
I
up.
ask you
I
to
cannot hit
grant
that button
me
fast
peace.
enough.
Goodbye, my friend, and thank you.
Thank you. Cry, motherfucker. What a shocking development. Alright, so now we can get the hell out of here. Alright, and that is it for this level, and I will see you guys next time in Level 8, Outer Persephone.